You got to love that Ryan Day embraced Ohio State's extremely high standard at Big Ten Media Day.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a Wednesday edition of Locked On Buckeyes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, here on Wednesday, July 24th in the year 2024. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, also the host of the Jay Stevens Podcast, and today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Ryan Day was front and center, and everybody knew when Ohio State is in the building, all eyes are on them. Not just Ryan Day, but Emeka Egbuka and Denzel Burke and Jack Sawyer were the three players that represented Ohio State at the annual event, which is the unofficial kickoff leading into the football season in about a month and a half from now. Ryan Day, during his 15-minute live press conference on the Big Ten Network, didn't shy away from embracing Ohio State's extremely high standard. And as Ohio State's coach in a very important season, that's exactly what you want. You want the coach at Ohio State to not shy away from answering questions about various topics or position battles and things, but also you want a coach that truly understands what it means to be the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, because it's unlike coaching any other program in the country. Now, you may say, Jay, USC is one of those schools that has an extremely high standard. Look what USC has been over the past 20 years. Do you think that would fly in Columbus? Absolutely not. Think about what Alabama. Now, that's a little bit different because Saban's the GOAT. I don't say the GOAT loosely. He is the greatest college football coach of all time. But Alabama's had down years. I mean, down years. I mean, you can look at history and think about that. Ohio State doesn't really have down years at all. They don't have that. Auburn and even Georgia's hot now. This wasn't always the way Georgia has been. Ohio State standard and coaching at Ohio State is literally unlike any other school in the country. And if that's the case, you want a man that's calling the shots, that is leading the troops, that fully understands, not just understands the standard, but embraces said standard. And I'm glad Ryan Day did on that stage. He was the last coach to speak on Big Ten Media Days on the first day of the 3-day event. First time in the history of the Big Ten. It's a 3-day event, but when you have 18 schools, it's a whole lot better to have 6 schools go over a 3-day period over trying to cram 9 schools a day during a 2-day span. Trust me, y'all don't want that. I have been there when it's 7 schools a day. It is a long day. It can be mentally exhausting to be basically at a press conference for that long. But Ryan Day kind of made a statement about this. Said, hey, you expect to win every game. That's just what it is. If you don't think that's the case, try losing a game at Ohio State. You're expected to win them all. That's not new. We embrace it in recruiting. We want to make sure that those types of people are in our program. And Ryan Day's realizing it's not just what's going on in Columbus currently. It's also about those guys that'll be in Columbus in the future. And we want to make sure everybody embraces what we got, the standard here. Think about you as a fan of Ohio State and how you react when Ohio State loses. Many of us can pinpoint in our brain individual losses that sting more than normal. For me, it's the Michigan State loss in 2015. That was 9 years ago. But that loss that day, I remember where I was, remember where I watched the game. I actually believe that was a mid-afternoon kickoff. I don't ask how I remember that either. I just think I remember that part there. I remember my reaction when that kicker, not going to call him any names, he made that kick and it did the windmill celebration. Remember what happened? I remember the feeling I felt. I remember thinking, man, the season, it's not over officially, but they're not going to the playoff to compete for a national championship. You could just throw that out the window. That's exactly what happened. Didn't have a chance to win the Natty that year to go back-to-back. It stung. Some of y'all might not like this. Some of y'all get a little uneasy about the Purdue loss in 2018. The Iowa loss, I think that was 2017. Some people get a little upset about the Michigan State loss in the 2013 Big Ten Conference Championship. or the multiple losses to Clemson in bowl games. I believe one of the scores was 31-0, and I believe to the 2013 season. After losing to Sparty, you lose to Clemson. I want to say that was the Orange Bowl as well. Ugh, that's ugly. 2019. Now, if you think that loss, that stinks for me too. Many of you realize, hey, this is standard. We collectively expect Ohio State to win every game. Now, if you're a betting person, it might be a little bit different. But if you're talking about just your fandom and not putting your betting mind into the conversation, you'll probably think, hey, Ohio State has the talent to win every game on their schedule, week in, week out. And there are times you're going to pick against them to win the game. Trust me, we do it here. Don't like it. That's exactly. I got heat for my prediction. Not say strong heat, but a little light heat for my prediction for the Cotton Bowl when I picked Missouri to beat Ohio State. And it wasn't because I thought Ohio State, if they played their best, didn't have a chance to win the game. I just thought, well, based on the circumstances where guys weren't playing and there's injuries and Common Core transferred, it didn't look like the cards were in Ohio State's favor, and they were not. But that's still not acceptable based off the standard at Ohio State. Ryan Day embraces that. There's been a lot of conversations about Ryan Day and wondering, does he truly understand what it means to be the head coach at Ohio State? Does he truly understand what it means to play in and even coach in this rivalry with Michigan, the game? Not me personally, but a lot of people have been questioning Ryan Day, and does he truly get it? I think he gets it. He doesn't have to be very dogmatic. He doesn't have to be very loud and animated when talking about certain things. No, he does not. What does he have to do? Do his job. He has to do his job. He has to learn. He has to tap into things. He has to talk to former players. He has one on the staff, actually multiple on the staff, actually. He has to do all those things. And I believe Ryan Day is embracing it, and I think he's portraying it on the recruiting trail like he mentioned, which is why the Buckeyes are able to get the players that they get. There's a lot of guys out there on the recruiting trail that emphasize the NIL. What can you give me financially? A lot of guys are just coming to Ohio State because, one, they want to come to Ohio State. Two, they want to be developed here. Three, they want to be developed here to go off to the NFL to get a big bag. That's what they want. But also along the way, you also want to win conference, beat your rival. What else you want to do? A lot of big things in college football that don't include losing. Yeah, Ryan Day gets it. That's what you want. You want a coach that gets it, at least understands and embraces the standard. Now, embracing the standard is one thing. How does that translate to what happens on the field? That is another. Trust me, there's a lot of things Ryan Day talked about here during the presser live on the TV. As your boy was not able to attend Victon Media Days this year, decided to stay home. Very wise. I think that was the only decision I was going to make. Someone was born a few weeks ago. I'm not going to leave him with my wife all day and just say, no, I got to go. No, family is coming first. With family coming first and putting an emphasis where emphasis needs to be put, I think that was what Ryan Day was thinking when he brought Chip Kelly into Ohio State to be the QB coach and the OC, because Chip Kelly, I believe, is a guy that Ryan Day trusts immensely, but also Chip Kelly, the evolution of Chip Kelly is going to be great for the Buckeyes offense. We'll dive into that next. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. Gametime has so many avenues that help you make the ticket purchasing process a whole lot easier. They have zone deals, which help you save even more when you choose a section and let Gametime choose the seats. They have all-in prices, which when you're toggling this feature, it shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. And of course, we all love the lowest price guarantee, or Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day? Have to turn down the volume with all that shouting? Make the switch to Locked On Sports today, a free 24/7 sports streaming channel program for you every day to bring you the biggest stories without all the screaming. Locked On Sports today brings you can't miss analysis, opinions, and news, streaming 24/7 on YouTube or the free Amazon Fire TV channels app, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen every day. The everydayers know we love to dive into things that Ryan Day says in pressers, because a lot of things he gives us, they're nuggets, they're things that stick out. And we're going to touch on a lot of things going on currently with numerous players later on in the week. But one thing Ryan Day said and emphasized at Big Ten Media Days, and I do believe this was it during his individual podium session. He had about an hour there at a podium that was aside from the live portion, the live 15 minutes that was there live on the Big Ten Network. And Ryan Day touched on numerous topics, numerous things, expectations for the team, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He also touched on the evolution of Chip Kelly. He had this specific example to utilize to talk about how Chip Kelly evolves and kind of tying that into what Chip Kelly will be as a Buckeyes OC this year.
Been, I guess, 7 years, and when you look at that offense, there was 2, 3, sometimes I think maybe 4 tight ends in the game at once. So that was very different than what he was in the NFL and then at Oregon. But even before Oregon, he had history of some 2-backs and different things. So some of the ideas that he's bringing to the table are things that we hadn't really considered here. So that's been exciting. But ultimately, it's going to come down to what are the right plays that fit our guys. There's a million plays, and we got playbooks up to here, and we got film going back a long way. We've done a lot of things on offense. He's done a lot of things on offense. People bring in different things, but what are the right things for the guys that we have? And that's going to be the key. And then what is our fastball? Like the best teams and the best offenses, like this is what we're running, and you got to stop us. And that's, to me, what we got to really identify in this preseason and just hammer it home.
Isn't that what you want from your offensive coordinator? To evolve and to change and to adapt to the players that are currently on the team, to adapt to the players that are the ones he's coaching in this season. And Ryan Day, I do believe, as smart as he is, he realizes this is a very important season. If Bill O'Brien's gone, who would I trust to hand over play calling duties to? Chip Kelly's one of those guys, and Ryan Day ended up saying, actually, during his, I believe this was live on TV, said he would trust Chip Kelly with his life. And I don't think he would make that statement about just about any person walking down the street. No, Ryan Day truly realizes and understands the importance and the weight to his words, which I think is why I think he chose that. Ryan Day's good with the coach speak, but when Ryan Day wants to just talk a little bit and not use coach speak and be giving you a little bit of a look behind the curtain, you're going to get some stuff like this. Now, Ryan Day mentioned this about Chip Kelly, about the offense, and I love the approach he's currently having right now to the Buckeyes offense. He's tied into Chip Kelly as well. Chip Kelly is going to do, and the focus right now for Chip Kelly as the Buckeyes offensive coordinator is to do what fits our guys. Seems self-explanatory, seems a little elementary to some, but how many times have you watched coaches and they're just not doing things that fit the guys on the team? How many times have you seen basketball players specifically? You may have a coach that sees a guy 6'8", long arms, that puts him in a certain position, and then realizing, no, that guy is a better fit elsewhere on the court on our team, but you don't put him there. Why? Just because that's you get in your own way. You can't do that. Chip Kelly must do what fits our guys. And thinking about this specifically, Ryan Day, we know, wants to use 2 tight ends, and if you want to use a fullback and consider him a tight end, that is 3. Now, we don't have no Jeremy Ruckert, no Case Stover, no Jeff Hireman, no Luke Farrell. None of those guys are coming to the door to play football. All of them are in the National Football League, or if they are not in anymore, they played in the National Football League. I haven't kept up with all the former Buckeyes of recently that are in the NFL, so it's likely there's someone that's I just mentioned that's no longer in the National Football League, and now it'd be okay if they're not. But when it comes to the tight ends at Ohio State, you got Will Kazmarek, you got G. Scott Jr. Skill set's not the same, so it's trying to figure out how do they go about utilizing both of them this year. You got Jelani Thurman. I don't know where Jelani Thurman fits with these guys. Is he number 3 automatically? Probably. He's not number 2, not number 1 at all. But also Patrick Gurd playing that fullback spot. Y'all, this is what you want. Now, Chip Kelly has used Ryan Day said that they're in a clip. Different tight end sets, different number of tight ends, different number of backfield situations and things that fit the team at the moment. As long as Chip Kelly keeps adapting and figures things out with this team, y'all watch out. Absolutely, 100%. Every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Watch out. Because Chip Kelly might do the exact thing that he needs to do that leads to touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. You look there on the board, on the screen, you're like, wait, how did the score get so big? Chip Kelly just in his bag. Chip Kelly just pulling out any old trick he wants to pull out and utilizing those tricks to spoil the opposition. Ryan Day gets it. Not just by embracing the standard at Ohio State, by realizing Chip Kelly must do what fits our guys. I don't think Chip Kelly is, in Ryan Day saying that's anything that's new. I think Chip Kelly knows that. But also, isn't that what you want? Don't you want your head coach and your offensive coordinator to always be on the same page? Don't you want those two individuals to be lockstep, kumbaya, stepping in the name of love, not stepping in the name of love, but stepping and marching in the same old way? Don't you want them to be in sync? Absolutely. You absolutely 100% want them to be in sync, which is why I cannot wait to see what Chip Kelly does in the Buckeyes offense this year. Cannot wait. If it's anything like what I think it's going to be, buckle up. This bad boy going to be fun, and I'm not talking about the ultra fast, hurry up offense that Chip Kelly might want to run. No, not that. Not saying that, but it's going to be fun to watch because Chip Kelly is going to pull things out of his bag that you didn't think Ohio State could utilize. Trust me. We all going to be sitting there oohing and eyeing and, oh, baby, look what he just did. We're going to be doing that consistently. Why? Because Chip Kelly going to be dialing it up to perfection all day long. What Denzel Burke wants all day long is for the players on the team to heed the message that he's been preaching all season long. And if that happens, this year will be a massive success. Thank you for making Locked On Buckeyes your first listen every day. Denzel Burke is one of those guys when he started playing at Ohio State, got to Columbus, before heading into his true freshman season. Denzel Burke was very, very confident. He's always been very, very confident. And it was the same way at Big Ten Media Days when he shared the message that he has been sharing to his teammates all offseason long about how important this season is and things the team needs to do for the team to accomplish their goals. Here's what Burke had to say about this topic.
Just kind of put it out there just to kind of get the, the younger guys, the transfers, to understand that I ain't come back for no BS. We're here to win it all, and we're gonna need everybody, and we gotta hold each other accountable. And every game is a matchup game this year, and no matter who we're playing, it's our job to just take them out and dominate.
My name is Jay Stevens, and I approve everything Denzel Burke just said, because what Denzel Burke is doing, he has now become an extension of the coach. Now you don't need to hear Ryan Day or Jim Knowles or James Laurinaitis or Brian Hartline or Chip Kelly. You don't need to hear them push back. You don't need to hear them seem a little confused. You don't need to do any of that. What you need to do? Well, just follow the leader. And right now the leader is Denzel Burke. Right now the leader is someone that will be a 4-year starter for the Buckeyes. And who can you think has been a 4-year starter at Ohio State? JT Barrett? Who else? Not a trick question. And I didn't say classes in session, but Apparently it is. Who else out there? Not many. Not many at all. But what we do think it shouldn't be not many. There should not be that many losses on Ohio State's record. Well, how do you do that? By everybody coming together for one common goal to accomplish that goal during this season. And I think for Ryan Day right now, he chose these three guys, Emeka Egbuka and Jack Sawyer and Denzel Burke, to represent Ohio State at Big Ten Media Days. It would be hard to find better candidates to represent Ohio State at this event. But they have other guys that are the same caliber of players as Denzel Burke. Other guys that will be drafted, things of that nature. And I do think that'll be very, 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 very important, as Ohio State's going to be tasked to answer various questions. They'll be tasked to do certain things. What does the team need to do? Simply follow the leader and throughout all the chaos, throughout all the ups, throughout all the downs. Simply follow the leader. And Denzel Burke right now, he's keeping the same energy he has throughout his entire career. He's a little annoyed with the way that the season has gone. His career has gone so far. No gold pants, no conference championships, of course, no natties. He's not satisfied. He is not happy. So when you're not satisfied, when you're not happy, what can you do to change things a little bit? What can you do to change the tide? Figure out your why, stick to it, portray your why, and keep moving forward. And one of the things about your why, you might have to revamp it a little bit. I don't think Denzel Burke or any of the players are going to revamp this thing. No. You come back to a national championship. Along the way, there will be some tough games. Along the way, there will be some tough battles. Along the way, there will be some things that cause confusion for you. Absolutely, it's going to happen. But you got to stick with the goal. Now, you got Lathan Ransom and Travion Henderson, and now some newcomers of Seth McLaughlin and Will Howard and Quinshon Judkins and Caleb Downs. When you got this on your team, just follow the leaders, man. And I say that because with this team, the leaders are on the same page. They are not shying away from anything. They are on the same page. Just follow them. They've been around the block a few times. They know where to avoid. They know where things are a little bit better than maybe you would expect. They know all of that. So follow the leaders. And for Jeremiah Smith, and if Ohio State has to use James Peebles or Sam Williams-Dixon throughout the year for various reasons, I think Jeremiah Smith is going to start. I think Ryan Day kind of confirmed that during his presser just a day ago. But if you're able to follow the leader, things are going to be just fine. Things should be just fine. I'm not picking a national championship winner right now or conference championship winner. I think Ohio State's a favorite to win the conference right now. I'm not saying they're going to go undefeated. These are all topics we're going to hit later on throughout the weeks leading into the first game of the season. But, buddy, this is it. Denzel Burke speaks. The team knows who the leaders are on the team. And as they follow the leader, things should be exactly the way they need to be, the way they should be in Columbus, which is not losing that game consistently, competing and winning conference championship games, and then going to the playoff to make noise. That's it. Now, I was asked recently on Locked on College Football with Spencer McLaughlin. We're going to try to get that clip up for tomorrow's show. But I was recently on there and talking about the expectations for the team, and just was simply asked, what are my expectations for the team this year? And I just said the same thing the team is saying. The team's saying, natty, you're bust. The team is saying, hey, we're coming back. It's this high. It's not my words. It's theirs. So my expectations for the team as a whole, exactly what we're seeing right now from Ohio State's team, players, things of that nature. This is exactly what I would expect now. Don't let this thing go into the regular season. Don't let this thing go too deep. No. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. I'm here for follow the leader. I'm here for Denzel Burke statements. I am here for all of that. I'm also here, because I love being here with you on this show 5 days a week, every Monday through Friday. Thank you for listening to another episode. Oh, wow. Thank you for tapping in and making Locked on Buckeyes your first listen every day. Now, to make your second listen of the day is the Locked on Big Ten podcast. Craig Sheeman, who is the host of Locked on Big Ten, is a place to go to stay up to date and to get a recap of Big Ten Media Days. We'll provide the Ohio State point of view. Craig Sheeman with Locked on Big Ten will provide the conference point of view He does a really good job with that as well. You can follow me on X at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317 at gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes on a Wednesday. We'll see you next time.